What we have got here is from the base right through to the tie down straps. All the different sections on my right side is full depth honey production hives, and on the left is nucleus hives. On the far side you'll see little ladders on the floor of the base. That is telling me that the risers are too deep. The next one to the left is a vented base that will only last about 3 or 4 times through the irradiation plant before it falls apart. I have a couple of experimental hives. I find too much debris on the floor, on the ground, which I consider can be a problem with small hive beetle, wax moth grubs, or other bees robbing the remnants, so I prefer solid bases, which is a dead material and does not rot. I make all my own equipment with the exception of frames and excluders, and my risers for my bases I like to have between 10 and 11 millimeters. The small mounds that can be seen on this particular base tells me that the risers were too high or too deep. This here is a nucleus base. This base is a purchased one, and I like to have my rails running from front to back, not across, as you've got more support on your stands. I like to have my entrances with what I call a 707 landing board. It's an extended area for when the heavily loaded nectar carrying bees come into land, they don't miss it. So on top of that you've got your first super. That's your brood box. We'll just go through this quickly from now and then. So on top of your base you have your brood box. That's a nuke box that goes on your nuke. Then you've got your different types of excluders. There's a whole range of excluders. That we find the wire ones are the best, but you've got to be very, very careful when you're working your hives, especially with your hive tool, so that you don't spread those wires. If you spread those wires, allow the queen to get through, all hell breaks loose. It'll take you 2 or 3 hours to find that queen, and sure as eggs, she'll be on the last bloody frame that you look at, every time. Here you see a plastic excluder, also a wire excluder. They're about half the cost of what the metal ones are. This is one that's been cut down. That's for one of our 5 frame nukes. These here that you see here are 4 frame nukes. For the one person that's only got 1 or 2 hives, the plastic extruder would probably be sufficient. You've got to make sure that your queen is not up the top of your frames where the excluder is. Otherwise, if she's up there, you can squash her in an instant. I consider that they are more hassle than what they're worth. So that's your first one. Then you've got the excluder, so queen can't get above into your honey supers. Then you've got your next super, under super with a sticky or foundation, and you take that whole 9 frames off in one foul swoop. That's been the irradiation plant. All my honey production hives are numbered, the supers and the frames for the barrier system. I've been using the barrier system for over 30 years. If supers are not irradiated, there is a lot of extra work required to check small hive beetle, larvae and wax moth grubs every 7 days before they're put back on the hives. Here you see a whole range of different types of lids. This lid has 4 1-inch holes in it, or 25mm, and I consider not sufficient for Queensland climate. Lids here are my design, 1985 vintage, and I haven't lost a hive through small hive beetle since the incursion in 2000. That's a standard size.
Why do you put the mesh on the outside?
Well, logic. Getting back to logic. You put it on the inside, the bees will populise it. Yeah. What they will do is they will populise this inside here, and you just get your hive tool and just cut it straight out, and you've got no. Generally, the occasional one will do it, depending on the hybrid queen and bees. Now we've also got these here. This is what we call a lid come base. So we can get out the road so you can see. So we can have a nucleus hive. We'll do it down here probably easiest. Right, so we can have a nuke with an entrance facing that way. We can go up the 2nd story with another nuke and a queen facing the other way. When rearing queens, I can have up to 12 separate nukes on my 1800 stands. That's 4 by 3 high.
So this is a full vented lid.
For transferring nukes from one site to another site, or when they are purchased. Bees can generate a huge amount of heat, and if they do not have sufficient ventilation, they can die within a very short period of time.
And of course, the last, but not near the last, is your rain hoods. And these are 100mm longer than what your front and back, so that you don't get rain in. And just a touch wider than what your lid is. That's one for your nukes, and like the last one at least is the M-lock. We use M-locks to tie everything down with. Because if you're doing 3 and 4 high, you can't rely on stones, otherwise the wind, especially if you're out in the open, and your hive will split.
You put that over the rain?
It goes right around the whole lot.
Please like, subscribe and click the bell to my channel to help it grow. Thanks for watching.